So, do you guys talk about past? Well, of course, we all do talk about the things that happened in the past, right? And in order to do so, what we do is we end up using time expressions, right? Hello everyone, I am Niharika and thank you for clicking on this video. Well, in today's lesson, we are going to look at common past time expressions. So, do you guys talk about past? Well, of course, we all do talk about the things that happened in the past, right? And in order to do so, what we do is we end up using time expressions, right? So, we use time expressions to talk about past. We also use time expressions to talk about the present and the future. But in today's lesson, specifically, we are going to look at time expressions to talk about your past events, okay? And always remember that time expressions either come at the end of a sentence or at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, it would never ever come in the middle of a sentence. It's always at the end or at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to look at the first one, the very common one, which is yesterday. So, like yesterday, I took it off, right? So again, I'm talking about a previous day. So yesterday, it means I'm talking about the previous day, right? So, for example, we also have certain similar expressions like yesterday morning. Like if I'm talking about the previous morning or previous afternoon, then I'm going to say yesterday morning, I skipped my breakfast. Yesterday afternoon, I went for a movie, okay? So, whenever you end up using the time expression yesterday, it means that you are talking about a day before today, okay? A previous day, okay? The second time expression that I have for you is the day before yesterday. Many people get confused using this. It's a very, very common time expression, but people just kind of, mix up the words and they don't say it correctly. But the right way to say it is the day before yesterday. Ria delivered a baby day before yesterday, okay? So it means 2 days before today. Okay, and again, we also have similar expressions to this one, that is the week or the month before last. So, for example, if I say, the month before last, we went to Thailand. So it means that if, for example, it's the month of June, okay, now it's the month of June. So the month before last, well, the last month was May. So here I am talking about my Thailand trip that I took was in the month of April. Okay, so that is the month before last, right? Okay, the next expression, last night. Last night we had a blast. Last night I went for a movie. Last night we went out for dinner. So when do we end up using the time expression last? Well, we use last to talk about the most recent one. The most recent night or the most recent week, okay, or just the previous night. Okay, similar expressions to this one is last week, last month, last year. Okay, I graduated last year. So here I am talking about the most recent one that just passed. Okay, so like the last night or the previous night. Okay, then the next one, this morning. Now we end up using the time expression this to talk about an earlier period on the same day. Okay, like this morning I got a call from Jane. Okay, so I'm still talking about the same day, but I'm talking about the earlier period. So this morning. Similar expressions to this one is this afternoon or this evening. This afternoon I went out for lunch with my friends, or this evening I went for a coffee with my friend. So I'm talking about the same day but an earlier time or earlier period. Okay, got it? The next one is 1 week ago. So you end up using the time expression ago in order to talk about a specific time in the past. Okay? Like X number of days ago, X number of years ago. Okay? So you have to mention a proper time frame, and then it's followed by the word ago. Okay, so it's either 1 week ago. 1 week ago I went to my uncle's house, or 10 days ago. Okay, again 10 days is the specific time that I'm mentioning, and then after mentioning the specific time, it's followed by the word ago. Okay, so something like a year ago I fractured my hand. 10 days ago I went for a movie. Okay, so this is the way you will end up using these expressions in order to talk about a specific time in the past. Okay, and then the last one is in 1990. So again, here you're using in 1990 to talk about a specific time again, okay, or a specific period. Okay, of course, specific period in the past. So like in 1990 I graduated. Well, that's not true though. So you're talking about a specific time in the past, or a specific period that you did something or something happened. Okay, so like again, similar expressions when you end up using the word in is like in March. Okay, or in 2012 I met with a big accident. Okay, so that's in March. But always remember, when you talk about a specific day, okay, like Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, you will never end up saying in. You're not gonna say I went for lunch in Sunday. That's absolutely incorrect. Okay, the preposition that you would end up using will be on. Okay, that is only applicable if you are talking about, or if you're mentioning a day of the week. Okay, so it's going to be on Sunday we went to the church. Okay, or on Friday I went for a movie. Okay, so it's always going to be on. You're not going to say in. Okay, so these are the time expressions in order to talk about past. All right, use them correctly. They're very simple and the most common ones. We'll also take a test. Let me know how much you score, and I'll be back with a new lesson soon. Till then, you take care.